Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari.
Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Sodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Jasodanandana Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Tira Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Gopi Janna Vallabha Girivanodari. Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Janavishnapada Paramahamsa Prabhupada Astatara Sutta Shri Shrimad, His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki, Ananta Gota Vaishnavani Ki Jai, Namacharya, Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai, ISKCON Founder Acharya, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai, Prem Se Kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivedanta Ki Jai, Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Samakun Radhakun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai, Shiva Navanam Ki Jai, Shimaya Parnavidam Ki Jai, Gangamai Ki Jai, Jamunamai Ki Jai, Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai, Transcendental Book Distribution Ki Jai, Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious summer devotees, all glorious Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this morning, reading the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 24, chanting the song sung by Lord Shiva. Text number 54. Bhavan Bhakti Mata Labhyo Dorlabha Sarvadehinam Svarajasyapi Abhimata Ekantenatma Vidgati Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Svarajya Yapimata Ekantenatma Vidgati Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajya Yapinipta Ekhan Dhen Atma Vidgati Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajya Yapimita Ekhan Dhen Atma Vidgati. Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajya Yapimita Ekantatma Vidgati. Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajasya Yapimita Ekanten Atma Vidgati. Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Ekanten Atma Vidgati. Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajasya Yapimita Ekanten Atma Vidgati. Bhavan Bhakti Matalabhyo Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajasya Yapimita Ekanten Atma Vidgati. Durlabha Sarvadehinam Swarajasya Yapimita. Thank you. Bhavan, your grace, Bhakti Mata, by the devotee, Labhya, obtainable, Durlabha, very difficult to be obtained, Sarvadehinam, of all other living entities, Svarajasya, of the King of Heaven, Api, even, Abhimata, the ultimate goal, Ekantena, by oneness, Atmavit, of the self-realized, Gati, the ultimate destination. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada Ki. My dear Lord, the King in charge of the heavenly kingdom is also desirous of obtaining the ultimate goal of life, devotional service. Similarly, you are the ultimate destination of those who identify themselves with you, aham brahmasmi. However, it is very difficult for them to attain you, whereas a devotee can very easily attain your lordship. Purport. As stated in the Brahma Samhita, Vedesu Durlavam Adurlavam Atma Bhaktao, this indicates that it is very difficult for one to attain the ultimate goal of life and reach the supreme destination, Vaikuntha Loka, or Goloka Vrindavan, simply by studying the Vedanta philosophy or the Vedic literature. However, the highest perfectional stage can be attained by the devotees very easily. That is the meaning of Vedesu Durlavam Adurlavam Atma Bhaktao. The same point is confirmed by Lord Shiva in this verse. The Lord is very difficult for the karma yogis, jnana yogis, and dhyana yogis to attain. Those who are bhakti yogis, however, have no difficulty at all. In the word svarajyasya, svar refers to Svargaloka, the heavenly planet, and Svarajya refers to the ruler of the heavenly planets, Indra. Generally, karmis desire elevation to heavenly planets, but King Indra desires to become perfect in bhakti yoga. Those who identify themselves as aham brahmasmi, I am the Supreme Brahman, one with the Absolute Truth, are also ultimately desire to attain perfect liberation in the Vaikuntha planets or Goloka Vrindavan. In Bhagavad Gita 18:55, it is said, Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavanyas jasmi tatvata tato mam tatato gyadva visite tadanantaram. One can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead as He is only by devotional service, and when one is in full consciousness of the Supreme Lord by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. Thus, if one desires to enter into the spiritual world, he must try to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead by practicing Bhakti Yoga. Simply by practicing Bhakti Yoga, one can understand the Supreme Lord in truth. But without such understanding, one cannot enter into the spiritual kingdom. One may be elevated to the heavenly planets or may realize himself as Brahman, aham brahmasmi. But that is not the end of realization. One must realize the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by Bhakti Yoga. Then real perfection of life is attained. Om Jnanatamanandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshram Militam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukharam Kotavatalang Pangun Lang Hayate Gurim Yat Kripa Talaham Vande Sri Gurum Dinataranam Vanchakalpa Tubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavaneva Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Twice in this purport, Prabhupada mentions this very important verse from the Brahma Samhita, Advaitam, Achutam, Anadim, Ananta Rupam, Adyang Prana Purusang Navayovanangcha, Vedesu Durlamam Durlamam Atma Bhaktao, Govindam Adipurusam Tamaham Bhajami. So the first word here is Advaita. What does Advaita mean? Oneness. Yeah, Advaita. Dvaita is two. Advaita is oneness. So we're one with Krishna. Actually, Prabhupada said we should desire to become one with Krishna in desire. So we want to become one with Krishna in desire. Not completely. Some people, they just want to become one with Krishna, totally, lose their individuality. But no, we want to become one with Krishna in desire. And Krishna, he also, just like we have desires, Krishna, he has desires. You know? He expresses his desires in the Bhagavad Gita and the Uddhava Gita. And one of his most important desires is that we surrender to him. Sarvadhamam parityaja mamekang saranam vraja ahang tvam sarvapapiyo moksha sarimasucha. Prabhupada says in one purport that the whole purpose of this creation is to give the living entities an opportunity to go back to Godhead. That's the whole purpose of this creation. So by practicing Krishna consciousness, we're utilizing this purpose that Krishna has given this universe for. So Advaitam, Achutam. Achutam means it doesn't decay. Like our bodies are decaying. Yeah. Even though you're young, still, as Prabhupada used to say, that the child may be 1 year old, but it means he's been dying for a year. So these bodies, they're dying. Dying means getting closer to death. There was one interview being done in, I think it was Mexico City, and this interviewer, he had some understanding of the Vedic life, Vedic culture, and his understanding was that people take sannyas when they are later in their years. But he said, but you're giving sannyas to these young men in their early 20s. So Prabhupada asked him, what does it mean to be old? And he was a little uneasy about it. Prabhupada was very confident. So he didn't answer. Prabhupada said, old age means about to die. Who's to say that I will die before you? You may die before me. We don't know. Therefore I've given them sannyas. We don't know. And Prabhupada also said it was an emergency. Sometimes in emergencies, in war, just some corporal he's been put in a position of an officer. He becomes a lieutenant or a captain, in emergency situations. So Prabhupada considered it like that. It's a war against Maya, and he needed many preachers. And there was even one instance where the one sannyasi, he fell down, the first sannyasi to fall down, Hanuman Prabhu. So when he saw Prabhupada, he said, Prabhupada, there was one follower of Lord Chaitanya, I think it was Junior Haridas, who fell down. And Lord Chaitanya, he rejected him. Are you going to reject me, Prabhupada? And Prabhupada said, Lord Chaitanya, he is God. He can do so much as God. But me, I need so much help. So no, I don't reject you. Please continue preaching. And he continued on serving. So we're trying to come to that level where we just want to serve Krishna, become one with Krishna in desire, and not let our devotion decay. These bodies will decay, but we want our devotion for Krishna to always increase, always increase. But we have to be very careful. To do that, we have to be very careful, because Maya is very powerful. So this achuta, decay, Krishna, his body never decays. You never see that Krishna, his body is getting wrinkled. Or Krishna doesn't get gray hair. Or he doesn't lose his teeth. I'm having big problems with my teeth now. You still have all your teeth? No. Okay. So yeah, generally, as you get older, they come out. They come out if you don't take care of them. But Krishna, his teeth never fall out. He doesn't have to brush them either. He doesn't floss his teeth. He doesn't. It's like people. I have one friend that whenever there was a gray hair would come, they'd pluck out the gray hair. So Krishna never gets gray hair. He never has to dye his hair. Sometimes people they get gray hair and they dye it, because they don't want to look old. Krishna, he never looks old. He's always ever fresh. About the age of 16. So it doesn't decay. Most beautiful person. As we're hearing again and again and again from Lord Shiva, he's really praising the beauty of Krishna. Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam. That he has no other order. There's no beginning for Krishna. That's a big thing that people say when we're preaching. So where's the beginning of God? We were all born. So where's the beginning of God? So they think that because they're so used to seeing a beginning of everything, which there is in this world. There's always a beginning of everything. This body, this building, the planet. There's always a beginning of everything that we experience. So what's the beginning of God? So they don't know. There's no beginning. Krishna is he's always existed. He doesn't have a father. Although for pastime's sake he does have Nanda Maharaj, but ultimately Krishna, he's the father of Nanda Maharaj also. He's everyone's. And he was even saying that to I think Uddhava was saying this to the gopis when he went to see the gopis and Krishna was in Dwarka. He says, actually, Krishna, he's the father of everyone. So this is the position of Krishna. And he's a very kind father. In this world, there's many fathers that aren't so up to par, you could say. Like, I was very disappointed with my father. Yeah, very disappointed, unfortunately. Incest. Yeah. So this is material world. It's hard to find a good father. Of course, it's Kali Yuga, so it's difficult to find anybody of good character in this age. But Krishna, he's always in good character. So Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, and his form is unlimited, and he has unlimited forms. Just like we have the largest body of water right here on the planet, Pacific Ocean. So many waves. Inconceivable how many waves there are. This is how many incarnations of Krishna there are. Unlimited incarnations of Krishna. I mean, we hear of a few of them, in the srimadbhagavatam. But there's unlimited incarnations of Krishna. So Krishna he's achintya. He's inconceivable. Everything about Krishna is just inconceivable. So we can know Krishna to some degree. At least we can know Krishna enough that we understand best thing for me to do is surrender to Krishna. At least we can know him that much. We don't need to know him much more than that. If we know him that much, we're doing real good. As we heard yesterday, that Anantashesh, he's glorifying Krishna, with all his hoods, and never comes to an end. It's unlimited glories of Krishna. So Advaitam, Achyutam, Anadim, Anantarupam, Adyang Purana. Adyang Purana means he's the oldest person. Now we're also pretty old. We're eternal. The soul's eternal. This is also inconceivable. Krishna's the oldest person, but we're also eternal. Interesting, huh? So Purana. And Navayovanamcha is very young. He looks very young. And then Vedesu Durlabam, Adurlabam Atma Bhakta. We can't understand Krishna through the Vedas. We can understand it to some degree, but not completely. Even Krishna is described, Krishna doesn't understand himself because he's always increasing. He's always increasing. So it's just, Krishna is so wonderful. So he can't be understood through the Vedas. But he can be understood only by love, yes. Devotion. Yes. Nayam atma pravicilena labdo namedya nabahuna shrutena. That Krishna, he cannot be understood by giving wonderful discourses on the soul and material nature and this and that. He cannot. Nayam atma pravicilena, the Buddha, even one may be very, very intelligent, just a genius, still can't understand. Nor even by much hearing, one can't understand Krishna. But he reveals himself to those persons whom he chooses. So Krishna, he's independent. He's Swarat, he's independent. He reveals himself to those persons whom he chooses. Now, who does he choose? It says here. One can understand the Supreme Personality of God as he is only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of him, through such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So these are the personalities Krishna invites. We're invited back to the spiritual world if we can develop this love for Krishna. This is what attracts Krishna. Therefore, devotional service is even more powerful than Krishna, because it attracts Krishna. And Krishna, he comes under the control. Even he comes under the control of devotees that have a great devotion for him. So this is the highest achievement that we can have. I was just listening to one lecture. Prabhupada said, "Love begins with giving." Giving. Just like Prabhupada said that the closest relationship in this world to a loving relationship with Krishna is that between a child, a baby, and the mother. The mother is just selflessly serving the child. And so much affection, so much love is there. I remember when I was living in Texas, there was one instance where there was a baby on the driveway, and somehow a car in the driveway got out of gear and it was backing up to run over the child. And the mother was there, but she wasn't close enough to grab the child, but she was close enough to pick up the car, to pick up a side of the car to save her child. Because when you have so much love, the adrenaline flows, and you're just able to do amazing things. So it wasn't a big car, of course, but she was rolling and she lifted it to save her child. So much love, so much love. Just so also it's said in the Bible that with love one can move mountains. That's really inconceivable. So, with love one is able to do amazing things, just like what Prabhupada did. People read about Prabhupada and they're just amazed. There was one article in I think it was Newsweek many decades ago about people who had become successful after the age of 60. Prabhupada was one of the 10. But actually he became successful after 70. He might have been the only one. And he wasn't even trying to be rich. That was like the last thing in his life, in his mind, to become rich. He was out, he wanted to help the conditioned souls, get closer to Krishna. That was his focus, his complete focus. And that was just like a side thing that he became a multi-millionaire. It's amazing. So this is love. Because Prabhupada had so much love, he was giving so much, just like he would give these lectures in the morning, 26 2nd Avenue. And after each lecture, what would he do? A slice of apple. Everybody they were poor. Everybody get a slice of apple. Always prasadam. Whenever there was any gathering, always prasadam. I remember in Mayapur, there was one gentleman who came to see Prabhupada, and Prabhupada was preaching to him, and then Prabhupada was speaking to somebody else, and the gentleman just happened to slip out, and Prabhupada didn't notice that he had left, and when he noticed that he was gone, and Prabhupada said, "Did you get prasad?" "Oh no, Prabhupada." "Make sure, find him." So he had been gone for a few minutes. The devotee had to go and search the grounds to find the person to give him some prasadam. Prabhupada was so much into giving, giving the philosophy, giving prasadam, giving himself. So, Dadati pratigranati guyam akyati prachati bhunkte bhujite chaiva sadvetam priti lakshanam. These are the 6 types of loving exchanges. Giving prasadam, receiving prasadam. Devotees would cook such nice prasadam for Prabhupada. Actually, here in Los Angeles, the lady devotees thought that Prabhupada might like some of our Western sweets, because we have some nice Western sweets, pie and cake and all these, things. So devotees are making all these things, and Prabhupada said, "No, just give me a simply wonderful." Rasgulla. He liked rasgulla. Sandesh. He liked sandesh a lot. That's all right. He lived with these things throughout his life, so he wasn't so impressed with these other sweets. But devotees would try to please Prabhupada by giving these varieties of prasadam. So Prabhupada is giving prasadam, and he's accepting prasadam, revealing one's mind and confidence, inquiring submissively. These are other loving exchanges. And then giving gifts and receiving gifts. There's one nice pastime of Burijan Prabhu, a wonderful devotee, old Prabhupada disciple. He picked Prabhupada up at the airport in Hong Kong. He opened the center there in Hong Kong. And when they went back to Prabhupada's quarters, he gave Prabhupada this beautiful ring. I think it said Hare Krishna or something. This beautiful gold ring. And the servant was massaging Prabhupada, and he saw that ring on Prabhupada. "Oh, Prabhupada, that's a beautiful ring. It's a beautiful ring." He had never seen it before. He said, "Prabhupada, who gave that ring to you?" And Burijan was sitting right there. So he looked at Burijan and he just said, "Oh, somebody." Little secret, yeah. So Burijan said, Prabhupada had this way of just capturing the heart. He was just so subtle and so pure and so kind and so much love. He just had a way of capturing devotees' hearts, and that's why this movement spread all over the world. Because he was just so pure, he had so much love, and he was giving it, just giving and giving and giving. So and still, it's like one interviewer said, "So after you die, who's gonna continue on your movement?" What did Prabhupada say? "I'll never die." And all the devotees like, "Haribol!" You can imagine. He reasons ill who say that Vaishnavas die while still living and sound. The Vaishnavas die to live, and living spread the holy name around. So Prabhupada's living in his books, and the books were going out by the millions every year still. So people are getting the association of Srila Prabhupada through his teachings. So in order for us to advance in Krishna consciousness, we also have to be determined and satisfied with what's been given to us. This is actually one of the austerities of the mind. Mana prasada saumyadvam maunam atma virnigraha bhava sangsir ityeta tapo manasam uchyate. This is the first austerity of the mind. to be satisfied. Because here we are in the kingdom of Maya, so much opportunity for varieties of sense gratification. Yeah. And what do we have? Yeah. Prasadam. Prabhupada said, therefore, prasadam should be very nice. This is our only sense gratification. So there, we have, of course, we have the holy name, we have the philosophy, but to be satisfied in chanting the holy names of Krishna and hearing the philosophy and engaging in devotional service, one has to be quite sincere, actually. And Narada Muni, he says, asantusyasya viprasya tejo vidya tapoyasaha. He says, if one is not satisfied, then gradually one's spiritual strength, one's tejo vidya, one's knowledge, one's austerity, and one's reputation gradually diminishes if we're not satisfied. So it's a big part. It's a big part of our process. We have to be satisfied. But the more we try to give satisfaction to Krishna, the more satisfied we are. Like Prabhupada used to, many times he said, if you decorate Krishna, you become decorated. So the more we please Krishna, the more we try to satisfy Krishna, the more we're satisfied. So the first thing he says, Narada Muni, he says that one's spiritual strength diminishes. So we want to become strong spiritually. So how do you become strong spiritually? By what we're doing every day. We're doing this hearing, we're doing this chanting. And this is how we get satisfaction. Srimvatam sva kata Krishna. If we do these things, if we hear nicely, then Krishna, he's so kind that he fills us with satisfaction. And we become free of material desires. I mean, that's pretty nice, huh? If we just relish the words that Krishna gives us, then Krishna is so pleased that he cleanses our heart. And we become satisfied. And we develop our love for Krishna. That's pretty cool, huh? That's pretty nice. Krishna is the nicest person. Yeah. So, Tejo Vidya. Vidya, we're getting so much knowledge. In the srimadbhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this knowledge will help us become free of the ignorance. Yeah, when we join, there's so much ignorance. Yeah, so by absorbing this knowledge, we're replacing the ignorance with the knowledge. Yeah. And with this knowledge, this transcendental knowledge, we grow. Yeah. We grow. And we grow towards Krishna, toward his abode. Param Dhamma. Param Brahma to Param Dhamma. He's the Supreme Brahman. He's the Supreme Abode. I have a question for Davida. Param Dhamma. He's the Supreme Abode. Now, does that mean Vrindavan? Because Vrindavan is considered to be non-different than Krishna. Is that what he means there? Param Brahma. Now this is Arjuna speaking. Right? Arjuna speaking, right? Param Brahma, Param Dhamma. You're the Supreme Abode. So that means he's non-different than his abode? Okay. He's the rest of all living entities where everyone lives. Okay. I was wondering about that. Okay. We'll investigate on that. So Param Brahma, Param Dhamma, Pavitram Paramam Bhavam. He's the purest person. So this is something that Krishna is attracted to. You know there's two different types of purity? Besides Dravida, does anybody know what the two different types of purity are? There's one, Dravida. Nectar of devotion. Exactly. One type of purity is where one is very pure oneself. Okay? Doesn't do anything impure. And another type of purity is where one is so pure that is able to purify others. So Prabhupada was that to a very high degree. And Krishna is to that unlimitedly. He's so pure. Here it is 5,000 years later, after he spoke the Bhagavad Gita, srimadbhagavatam, Uddhava Gita, and now thousands of people are taken to Krishna consciousness because of Krishna's pure words. He's very pure. And the more we connect to Krishna, we also become pure. So pure that we can also help others become purified. So, Tejo, Vidya, Tapo, austerity. Austerity is called the wealth of the Brahmanas. By performing austerity, then we advance. Krishna is pleased. If we do austerity, it's for his pleasure. But if we do austerities and we don't develop our attraction to Krishna, then the austerities are useless. Just like I go on the beach here, I go on a morning walk here on the beach, and there's people out there surfing at 5:30 in the morning. That's pretty austere. That means they're getting up at 4:30 or so. Depends on where they live. Of course, they can come to Mongol Arctic. So they're doing this austerity. What? Just for, and then they go in the cold water. Also, for nothing. Useless austerity. But devotees, next life they'll become fish. But devotees, we get up early. It's an austerity. Just like many devotees, before they joined, they were taking rest when they were getting up. Now, they used to take rest at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Now they're waking up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So to wake up that early, it's an austerity. In the beginning, it's an austerity, but eventually, it's no problem. It's actually nice getting up early, chanting Hare Krishna, dancing, kirtan. So in the beginning it's an austerity, but then it becomes joyful. Actually, Prabhupada, he wrote the Gurukul teachers, teach the children the joy of austerity. The joy of austerity. It's joyful, actually. So today we have Ekadasi, no grains. And some devotees, actually Prabhupada says in the Nectar Devotion, that the actual way to follow Ekadasi is no water, no food, nothing. And no sleep. We used to do that. Remember in Miami? We used to do that. We'd stay up all night long, no water, no food, all day long, all night long, and we would chant. Remember? And we would chant japa and we would chant bhajan. It was ecstatic, actually, but it was a little bit too austere for us. We can't continue it too long. But there's some devotees that do that still to this day. So austerity is good. It helps us to advance. That's the goal. We want to advance more and more towards Krishna. So Tejo, then reputation. Reputation. If we're not satisfied, then we lose our reputation. And what does Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita about reputation? For one who has been honored, dishonor is worse than death. That's heavy. That's a heavy statement there. So that was one of Krishna's ways of getting Arjuna to be more fired up to fight, because he's got a big reputation. Yeah. Of course, devotees aren't so much interested in reputation, but it is appreciated when people see that one is sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness and gets a reputation for hearing nicely and preaching. And it's like there's so many devotees that have good reputation now within our society, like Radhanath Swami and Vaisheshika Prabhu and Dravida Prabhu. So they've got this incredible reputation, you know, from practicing Krishna consciousness. And it's not that something that we want, but it's just something that automatically happens. And yeah, that's something that just happens to occur. So, is there any question, comment? Dravida Prabhu has a comment.
That point about you are the supreme abode, in the purport, in the second paragraph to text 12:13 of the 10th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, in the Kena Upanishad, Prabhupada writes, it is stated that the supreme Brahman is the rest for everything. And Krishna has already explained that everything is resting on him. The Mundaka Upanishad confirms that the Supreme Lord in whom everything is resting can be realized only through bhakti. So it's where everything is resting.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. You answered that question. Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai.